You know what an SIP is. You know that mutual funds beat FD returns, and you've read all about diversification. Yet, you sit at 11 p.m. staring at your investment app, paralyzed by one simple question: where should my money go and how much? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Research shows that even informed investors underperform the market by over 2% annually, not because they lack knowledge, but because they struggle with the execution. Based on the comments from my previous video on overall asset allocation, from 10 lakhs to 10 crores, the most requested deep dive was on mutual funds. So today we're covering exactly where should the money go in mutual funds, how much and why. This isn't theoretical advice. This is the exact allocation that I follow based on data, not market noise or no fund house marketing. Today I'll share my exact allocation philosophy that removes the guesswork from your investment decision. No complex formula, no market predictions, just a clear framework. Stick till the end because I reveal exactly how I make my mutual fund decisions and the one ratio that most investors miss that could save you from massive losses. First, let's fix 3 basic mistakes that most investors miss. Direct versus regular plans. Here's the brutal math. Regular plans charge 1 to 1.5% extra commission on money that you are investing every time. So for example, if you invested 1 lakhs for 15 years, a regular plan would give 10.5% returns, while a direct plan would give 12% returns because it doesn't have any hidden commissions. So the net returns would be 4.8 crores in a direct plan versus a 4.2 crores in a regular plan. That's a difference of almost 60 lakhs on money that should have been yours, but instead goes to a distributor. 95% of the entire mutual fund's wealth building power sits in just 4 categories. Ignore everything else. 4 fund categories that actually matter. You have your large cap, mid cap, small cap, and flexi or multi-cap. Ignore thematic funds, ELSS, conservative hybrids, or anything else. It's just market noise. Automate with SIPs. Don't overestimate or overthink the entry point. SIPs remove the stress of market timing and build an investment habit. Think of it like transferring money from your spending self to your future self. With these basics logged in, let's answer the real question. How much of your money should go into each category and why? Here's the core philosophy. Your age determines the mutual fund allocation, not market condition, not hot tips. The framework is simple. In large cap, you invest 20 to 60%. In mid cap, you invest 20 to 30%. In small cap, it's 0 to 20%. And in multi caps or flexi cap, the total amount should be around 20 to 30%. Example, at 25 years of age, you should invest about 20% in large cap, 30% in mid cap, 20% in small cap, and 30% again in multi-cap or flexi-cap. By the age of 60, you should invest about 60% in large cap, 20% in mid-cap, 0% in small cap, and around 20 to 30% in multi-cap or flexi-cap. Why age matters. Risk isn't just psychological, it's mathematical. A 25-year-old has 40 years to recover from market crashes, but a 55-year-old has only 10. The research is clear. Over a 5-year rolling period, the probability of loss in Indian equity markets is only 0.1%. But over only a 1-year period, the probability increases to 26%. Time turns risk into opportunity. Large cap are the backbone. India's top 100 companies. Over the last 10 years, they've delivered a return of around 13% with the best risk-adjusted returns, a Sharpe ratio of 0.75. My philosophy with large cap is simple. Don't overthink it. Just stick to index funds. In Nifty 50 index funds, invest about 60 to 70% of your large cap allocation and invest the rest 30 to 40% in Nifty Next 50 index funds. Why this approach works? Because this covers India's top 100 companies without any risk of mutual fund manager or any fund biases. The Nifty 50 covers established giants like Reliance and TCS, and Nifty Next 50 covers tomorrow's leaders, the 51 to 100 companies, which will be tomorrow's large cap. Here's the data that proves it. Nifty 50 annualized returns is around 13.75 over the last 10 years. The large cap returns category average is around 12% only. Only 26% of the large cap fund managers have been able to beat the index. And once you factor in the expense ratio of around 1.2% versus the index cost expense ratio of only about 0.3%, the math becomes obvious. Fund selection criteria. Choose funds with the lowest tracking error, around less than 0.2%, and the lowest expense ratios, less than 0.1% for Nifty 50 and less than 0.2% for Nifty Next 50. Don't get fancy. Boring index funds that track the market perfectly is exactly what you want here. But here's the psychology trap. Older investors see large cap and they think safety. So they invest about 80 to 90% in this category alone, which is emotional decision making, not strategic. With so much allocation in large cap, you're losing the slight edge you may have for growth potential, while younger investors make the opposite mistake. They see large cap and they think boring. But without allocation in large cap, you are missing the backbone of your overall portfolio. You're missing the stability. Mid caps have delivered around 18.8% returns annually, the highest among all mutual fund categories. These are companies that are ranked 101 to 250. These are often in their growth phase. Here you capture the growth potential without the portfolio destroying volatility. It's enough to matter for long-term wealth creation, but not enough to wreck your sleep. Here's my key philosophy for mutual fund selection. Ignore CAGR headlines, focus on rolling returns instead. Why rolling returns instead of CAGR? Because a fund might show 20% CAGR returns over the last 5 years, but that might be driven due to one exceptional year. Rolling returns focus on every year performance, so it averages out the performance over all market cycles. What you should look for is greater than 15% returns over more than 75% of the rolling returns periods over 5 years. This shows you that the mutual fund manager actually adds value and not just performs during bull runs. Rolling returns shows consistency. CAGR shows luck. The psychology here is fascinating. Mid-caps trigger our optimism bias. We imagine finding the next big winner. So probably we over-allocate and forget the volatility in this sector. Mid-caps have a standard deviation of around 25% versus just 12% for large cap. Small cap companies focus on beyond top 250. Yes, they've delivered an annualized return of over 16%, but with extreme volatility. It has reached to up to 33% standard deviation and 65% of maximum drawdowns. My key philosophy in small cap is to focus obsessively on Sortino ratio, not just returns. What is Sortino ratio? Standard deviation measures both upside and downside volatility equally. But we don't care if your fund performs 40% great in one specific year. We only care about the downside protection. Sortino ratio measures exactly that, the downside risk. So it gives you a better picture of your risk-adjusted returns. What I look for is a near zero Sortino ratio for small cap funds. This tells me that my capital is protected during market crashes while it delivers for returns as well during the other times. Here's where most people get it wrong. They either avoid small caps entirely, missing the growth opportunity, or overallocate, increasingly accepting risk. The research shows that the sweet spot for most investors is around 10 to 20% only. Flexicap and multicap aren't just another category. They can be part of your strategic pool. Fund managers make allocations basis the market conditions. So when large cap is expensive, they allocate in mid cap. And when small cap crashes, they invest in large cap. You get the professional decision making without the emotional baggage. Instead of second guessing whether you should increase your mid-cap allocation, you delegate that investment decision to experienced fund manager. This removes the analysis paralysis, which often kills return. The difference between multi-cap and flexi-cap is multi-cap, 25% of the investment allocation has to mandatorily go in large cap, small cap, and mid cap each. In flexi cap, you have complete investment freedom. Fund managers can decide what goes where. Let's talk about why age-based allocation beats every other strategy that you've ever heard. The research is overwhelming. Dalberg's 30-year report shows that investors who choose to invest based on market timing or based on performance lose about 2% annually, or they underperform the actual market conditions. That's not just 2% less profits, that 2% of compounded growth lost forever. Common psychology traps. Number 1, the safety trap. Investing over 70 to 80% in large cap alone, missing the growth potential and the opportunity in small cap and mid cap. Number 2, the gambling trap. Over allocating in small cap because they give the highest returns, but ignoring the standard deviation and the 65% maximum drawdown capability. The third, market timing trap. Moving money between different categories based on recent performance. Research shows that an average investor can predict the market direction only 25% of the time correctly. Why age-based allocation works? It's systematic, removes emotion, adapts to your changing risk-based allocation, and captures long-term growth across all segments. Most importantly, it's sustainable. You can implement this strategy for decades without burning out from decision fatigue. Here's your immediate 3-step action plan on investing in mutual funds. Step 1. Calculate your current allocation with the age-based allocation framework. So for example, if you're 30 years old and investing 80% in large cap, you're being too conservative. If you are 50 years old and investing 40% in small cap, you're taking unnecessary risk. Step 2. Follow these rules. For large cap, keep it simple. Invest in Nifty 50 and Nifty Next 50 index funds. For mid cap, focus on rolling returns, not just CAGR. That shows consistency over lag. For small cap, Sortino ratio is the king. It focuses on downside protection, not just upside potential. Step 3. Bonus. Add US diversification. Allocate about 20 to 30% of your investable income in US index funds also. This is outside your Indian mutual fund portfolio. This gives you diversification and balances your overall portfolio stability. Rebalance annually, not monthly. Frequent rebalancing leads to increased cost without increasing the returns. Remember the key insight: you should invest based on your life stage, not market headlines. Your 25-year-old self should invest differently than your 45-year-old self. And that's not just okay, it's optimal. Markets will go up and down, companies will rise and fall, but time remains your greatest asset. Use it wisely and let compounding growth do what it does best. If you found it useful, hit subscribe for more calm, strategic lessons in finance and real estate, direct from someone who's applying it in real life. And tell me in comments, what asset class do you want me to deep dive on next? Equity, alternate investment funds, real estate, or anything else? I'll see you next week.